a monster inside of me. You better watch out if you ignite me. The road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws, feel big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling this war. Never getting bored, loves the blood and gore. Always wanting more freedom from the source.
All right, everybody, welcome to Real Talk with Spoon and Pudding. Episode whatever.
83, I think it was.
84, I don't know.
I started one before we went off to Vegas to give you the maybe one by yourself or one with Dillard, but oh well.
Yeah, never got around to it. We missed a week of the snowstorm and all that.
Yeah, that
weather
was
because we were preparing.
Now it's the week of the pothole complaining.
Yeah. So the Sunday prior to the snow coming in, we had to go do our preparing for what was coming just in case it was, and then he had to work. So by the time we got all done, we didn't have time to get it done. And he spent a week in Vegas.
Landed in Vegas, went to St. George, Utah, then Vegas for 5 days, then Laughlin, and then went to Lake Havasu and walked on London Bridge, and then slept in Laughlin, got up a few hours later, went to the airport and flew home today. So still kind of tired, and I got my food, and you got some food, so we're just going to do a quick one, like a little quick update. The only thing I really wanted to ask you, I'll do on the last week's 2A, I'll do some things there soon now that I got a lot of video from SHOT Show.
All right. Well, let's get through the liability first.
All right, go through the liability.
All right. I ain't got my paper with me, so I just do a good Spoon and Pudding. Do not accept any responsibility or liability for anyone, our guests, or anyone's comments or actions based on material we talk about. You should ascertain that all the information we provide is verified and correct at all times. We do not promote or solicit anything to anyone. If you got any comments or questions or concerns, you can reach us at realtalkwithspoonandpudding@gmail.com.
This ain't legal advice. You're stealing, blah, 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 whatever, all that disclaimer stuff. Don't take anything out of context. But I kept seeing this, and I seen it a lot, and I seen it on the plane this morning is what I wanted to ask you. What is it with all these people and all these support dogs? And they're not disabled.
It's just a way for them to, most of them.
No, I understand.
It's just like the misgender stuff where people say, I identify as this, I identify that. Now, it's another stepping stone as I got my squirrel is my whatever, or my
support
dog,
animal.
or my cat. Yeah. There's some I can say they probably got PTSD and stuff that it really helps.
I get it. Look, okay. Even if you got PTSD, how does a dog deal with it? How? Please explain that to me. I understand.
Kind of comfort and calms them down.
Comfort, calming. Getting around. You see these 35, 45-year-old people running around with a dog like, oh, I got some shell shock. I had to shoot somebody in a war. Well, you signed up for it, didn't you? And if you can't get over it mentally, then what does that say about you mentally? Honestly. But it was dawned on me because we got off the plane this morning, and the reason I brought this up is getting on the plane, there was somebody in the very front row sitting in the left, and they had their dog draped out across the middle in the left seat. And I'm like looking at that, I'm like, it's a premium seat for somebody. It's a front row. They got their emotional support dog, which means they probably got on Southwest early because they got emotional support dog. And I just sit there, and then I got off at the airport, and I had to go take a leak. And then right next to and I couldn't believe it, it was near gate D5 or something at the Nashville airport. They had a set of restrooms, and there was a dog relief room. And that's what I was like, because I was remarking about how wonderful the airport looks and how much it changed in like 8 months. It don't even look like the same airport. Or it was July, I think, last time I was on it. And I see dog relief bathroom, and I'm sitting there looking at that, and I'm thinking, I was about to call you and getting our baggage, and about to call you, and that's when I'm like, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about all these people running around SHOT Show and casinos with their stupid dogs because they don't have the mental capability to, just let shit go.
Let's just think about this. What is it? 80 years ago, 83, 4 years ago, our grandfathers stormed Normandy. Some of them under the age of 18 that was fighting in the World War II.
They didn't have a dog on
And
every plane.
What if we had to send 16 to 25, 30 to war right now to fight in a war like our grandfathers had to fight it? Can you imagine us having trust, the ones that we're sending to win a war? We're done for, dude.
No, but it was there was like there was an incident, like what was it? I think it was Thursday or Friday. I think it was Thursday. I don't remember. It was one of the days at SHOT Show. I was walking through one of the booths and there were some people talking, and I tripped over a dog that was laying on the ground. That was because I had already seen a bunch of people with him. There was a dog laying in one of the booths. I think it was a silencer shop or some shit. And I tripped on the dog. And I'm falling over, and I guess it was his owner, shoved me, hey, what, your dog? You know what I'm saying? It was just, and I was kind of, I did have a funny joke about it because, all the people were sitting there. I'm like, dude, I didn't see your dog. You're just laying on the ground. If you was a person laying on the ground, they kicked you too.
When you go in somewhere like where it's a grocery store or whatever, you don't expect to have to worry about a dog laying in your way when you're walking.
No, you don't. You don't. But anyway, so it was like, and I was like being apologetic, but then I started thinking about it. So why am I apologetic? I'm not the one with a damn dog in here laying on the ground.
Why don't you move the dog?
But it was kind of, so I thought about trying to make a soft humor joke between, a bunch of gun people. And I'm like, I don't work for the ATF. And then it was comical because they said, hey, Fed boy. And I was like, yeah, right. Yankee Boogle. But, it was just kind of funny, but it started making me think, what is it with this fucking support animals? And then we're getting on the plane and I see one, then we're getting off the plane and I see a relief one at the Nashville airport. I was like, is it this? Why have we gone full stupid? That was all.
I wonder what they say or do if you went in there and took a shit in the dog relief room.
Identify as a dog.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's what works in today's world.
I could be your emotional support pudding.
Or just go in there where you got several dog owners in there with their dogs and just start taking a piss everywhere like dogs do.
Hock your leg up on the wall and start peeing on the wall.
Yeah.
What the fuck do? It would be kind of funny. I didn't think about that. I'll have to do that next time.
Oh, if I'd have been with you, we'd probably got kicked out of the airport.
I couldn't believe it. I really, that one right there, that was where I was like, that's why when you pulled up, I said, I got something to talk about, but I'm not going to tell you till we go live. Because I figured that was a good, but it come to, when I seen that dog relief area, I said, you got to be shitting me. You have got to be kidding me that they put this in
there. They're shitting you in there. They're pissing too.
But no, we'll have a full show. I've got some pictures of plows and I seen them in Mount Juliet. I got pictures of them down around we've got pictures of them. They were just sitting on the roads. They didn't plow the roads until Friday. I didn't see any real road plowing happening until Friday.
The city and the county and most of the state dropped the ball on this.
We need to, but we do need to file the FOIAs. I want the timesheets for all the plow trucks. I want them for Sumner County, Wilson. I want all the surrounding counties. I seen 5 of them in the same lane around North Nashville twice in one day. Yep. One lane going north, back to back to back. You don't need 5 plow trucks to plow a lane.
No,
and if you do,
spread them out and do the whole interstate.
Yeah, you're supposed to spread them out and do 2 or 3 lanes at a time. They could have been doing 2 lanes going north, 2 lanes going on south, with the third guy, batting, over there trying to help push it off. But they weren't doing that. No.
What's like Tuesday?
It's just waste.
We got the snow Sunday night into Monday, right? And then
Tuesday, and that's when I seen 3 or 4 of them in Mount Juliet driving on an interstate, nothing but snow.
Tuesday, I went to Franklin
Monday morning,
and Franklin didn't get quite as much as us, but it was pretty close. But after you pass where Flying J, the truck stop stuff was, it was clear.
Kentucky
drove all around up there. Fine. I got back to where Flying J was stuff. Then I had to cut it back and drive real slow and cautious, and even more once you got across the state line. It was like night and day. It's like, I mean, the weather was pretty much the same, from this line to this line. You could cross 50 foot. It was covered in snow and ice, and then this road was clear. It's like,
that's a FOIA. You've asked me to do some FOIAs in the past, and I'm going to ask you to do the Portland one, and I'll try to do the Sumner County.
timesheets for all the.
Yeah, I want the
all
timesheets.
all the
I
road
want their
workers.
timesheets. I run off in the ditch in a Subaru. That's how bad the road was. Luckily, I didn't get stuck, but it wasn't a bad ditch, or I would have been really in bad luck. But I mean, Subarus are really good for traction. No, not on these roads.
Front wheel drive. I mean, you should be able to play in it. Not.
No, I'm all-wheel drive.
Oh yeah, you're all.
That Subaru is all-wheel drive, man. It's a good all-wheel drive system.
I like the front wheel drive. You can play in it good.
But no,
but here's the thing.
I got a few tires slid off a little bit, but I was able to gun it and get it back up on the road a little bit. But
they dropped the ball all the way around because now we're dealing with all these potholes, and you ain't been up 109 and back yet, so you ain't seen much. You seen 76 earlier, but downtown Nashville, like going around the loop where they have all that traffic all the time, there's not that many potholes. I thought it would be, but then you come to Portland, you drive on 109 these roads. And it's already not that alignment. A lot of people's pop tires. I mean, it's ridiculous. They drop the ball on preparing for the snow and ice. Then they drop the ball on scraping the roads ready for people that have to go to work and stuff. You know, we don't work for the government. We don't get to say, hey, I work for the city. I'm just going to shut down today and tomorrow because it's snow and ice. People that keep the country going, we still have to go to work. Right? So you drop the ball on that. Then you drop the ball on fixing the roads because you knew after all this coming through with the lack of maintenance you spend on the roads to begin with, going the city, the county, and the state, that what was going to happen. And now here we are, people's dodging potholes, they're tearing their wheels and tires, they're knocking their vehicles out of alignment, and you still ain't fixed them. You know, I've seen the city out there this week working on a few of them, but where's the county and state at?
I believe you're supposed to. They're not. I think somewhere in Tennessee, 7 or 8 people have to write in to report the pothole.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot more than that.
Oh well, you have to physically receive complaints before the. I asked because I seen that because we had a Michelin tire that had a bubble on the side of it where a belt had broken and said probably potholes. I was like, well, I do live in Tennessee. You know, what are you supposed to say?
And I'm going to defend the police on this because I think it was yesterday, it might have been the day before, there was a big old pothole on 109 going south before you go out of the city limits. And a lot of people posted stuff on Hit Portland and stuff complaining about, well, the police are wasting their time sitting there because he was sitting there from like 10 a.m. It was 2 or 3 in the afternoon. He was still sitting there. But what do you expect them to do? They put a police officer there with his lights on right there by the pothole to get y'all in the left lane so you don't tear your car up. And then you complain that we're paying that officer to sit there. I mean, what do you want? You want to tear your car up? Or are you going to pay that officer? I don't care if he's making $50 an hour to sit there. At least they were attempting to do something, people out. All right. I hear all the time y'all complain. If they're in the right, I'm going to defend them. If they're in the wrong, I'm not going to defend them. But at least the chief and the department decided, hey, we want to try to help the people keep from, number one, wrecking, and 2, tearing the car up. So we're going to set an officer there until we can get it fixed or at least get the people flowing around it. And then you get up there and you blow the police department up and then the cop up for sitting there. I mean, I don't know what you want. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I mean, personally, I would rather him be sitting there and me go around the big crater than. I don't care if we, like I said, I don't care if we was paying $50 an hour. How much is it going to cost your car if you hit that big, you know?
Well, it costs a lot. This was my favorite. Oh shit, you can't see it with that thing on. Damn it.
What?
I'll have to put the video up. I met Dick Heller, the guy from Heller versus DC in the Supreme Court case of 2008.
Right.
But he was a cool old man. I liked him. I talked to him I think I went by his booth 3 times to find out because he was over there with GOA and I was talking to him. I got a long one where I went up to the ATF and started picking on them. Oh, it was hilarious, man. There were 4 of them. They kept swapping off and kept, listening to what I had to say because I walked up with my camera going. I was like, hey, I got a question about machine guns. And they're like, I was like, So I started hitting them with the whole Hughes Amendment. Right. So, quick. Hughes Amendment was put in 1986. It was y'all's beloved, you Republican guys who love your guns. It was your beloved Reagan who allowed the Hughes Amendment to go into effect. But the Hughes Amendment, though, was it stopped the machine gun registry. You were no longer allowed to pay $200 tax stamp and register a new manufactured machine gun on the National Firearms Act. Thank you, Reagan, and thank you, Hughes, and that stupid amendment. So this is 1986, very new. So you got the Bruin case that come down here recently where text history and tradition around the founding, which we all know that 1986 is not near the founding of this country. So I started wanting to make the argument that these challenge the Hughes Amendment immediately, I think. And the way my legal mind says challenge the Hughes Amendment, and a bunch of people are saying, well, why would you do that? You got to get rid of the NFA. No, you challenge the Hughes Amendment tomorrow because the Hughes Amendment is blatantly unconstitutional because there's another Supreme Court case, and that's what Heller was, Mr. Heller was talking about, the Ayetta court case, which had to do with the Arkansas toothpick or Bowie knife from the 1840s. And basically the Supreme Court back then said the people need military style weapons. That's what the people need. The Supreme Court said this in the mid 1800s.
Well, that's what the Second Amendment's about.
It is what it's for. No, it is what it's for. But that's
what the forefathers wrote it for.
Yes, I know. So what I'm saying is the military guys that are running around with their support animals and holding space and making people trip and getting restrooms built at the airports or whatever for them because they've got no mind or they love animals more than they do people, whatever it may be. They're running around with machine guns, and the Second Amendment says we should have them. So, well, here's my point. So Heller. So I told Heller, I said, well, that sounds really good, but shouldn't the Hughes Amendment be challenged and taken down? And then I made that comment to the ATF. I was telling all this to the ATF. I said, but shouldn't the Hughes Amendment be brought down and we be allowed to put machine guns back on the registry? Because I said, I told the ATF, I said, I think the NFA needs to be thrown away completely. It's unconstitutional and the whole thing needs to go. However, the guy was at least kind of out because I said, how many suppressors are on it? And he got to the number and it was almost 4 million as of December of last year. There was almost 4 million suppressors on the registry. I said, there's 190,000 suppressors or machine guns currently transferable legally on the registry, which means transferable means that if I can afford to buy this gun that was made before 1986, pay my $200 tax stamp and wait my time, they'll transfer it and I can have a machine gun legally. So that's what the Hughes Amendment did. It made them ungodly expensive because it stopped how many there were. But there's a case called Katana, which was about tasers out of Massachusetts. And the Supreme Court said, well, there's 160,000 tasers out in common use. That's common use. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, you've got 190,000 machine guns that are transferable, which is a much higher than the number than Katana. So common use dictates, the Second Amendment dictates, the Hughes Amendment is a blatant violation of our rights to purchase and own a machine gun, because they wouldn't be $25,000 for a full auto AR-15 if you could buy a new manufactured one. It would just be $200 tax stamp, wait your time for your form or whatever, and then buy the gun for probably, I don't know, $1,500.
Right.
Because I mean, there's really hardly any work to it to make it a machine gun, honestly. Most of them that you're getting, the civilians get, are practically machine guns. All they need is like a trigger swap. Some of them just need a trigger swap, honestly. The lightning link thing, that's a thing.
Well, you can talk about a whole lot on your 2A thing, but
yeah.
Getting back to your doggy bathroom and the support animal stuff. This is what this government's people care about animals more than they do people.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh,
and you'll get more time in prison by killing a dog and beating a dog and stuff than you would have murdered somebody. And it's kind of ridiculous, Even in my household, the 2 dogs and 3 cats are loved way more than I am.
Mm.
That's how the world is.
Me not being a dog person, it was just something that popped up.
A lot of those were like canines for the military.
No, I understand. I understand most of them people. I understand most people are in the military and they're canines for them, and I got it or whatever. But you don't got to bring that. I mean, I
So
don't know.
the shot show, that's why.
Huh?
The shot show was because them are the dogs they use.
I don't care. No, I don't know. I did think my joke was funny. When I hit the guy's dog or started to trip over the dog's leg, I'm like, well, I'm not ATF. I'm not trying. If I was ATF, it wouldn't be standing up again. I'd shoot it.
I seen when you come around that corner, I was like, he's about to trip on that dog.
Yeah, but I didn't see the dog. I'm looking at toys at the damn booth. I'm not looking at the ground, standing by a wall.
Look when you walk.
I'm 6'3". What am I supposed to do?
Hey, look. But the point
You got
is,
you got a dog that's 6 inches off the effing ground on the wall, and I'm scanning for people, and there's nobody, but he's out. He's right there. It's like, Jesus.
But the issue is they take it to whole new levels. Like I've seen support birds and iguanas, and it just all kinds
she
of
wants a support chicken. She wants to have a support chicken. That would probably go good on a Southwest airplane.
To start shitting on everybody.
A chicken running up and down the aisle like it's Southern California.
I wish I'd have got down there in time. You'd have told me that, because we would have went back in the airport to the.
You'd have had to go through TSA. You'd have had it was back behind TSA. It was we got off at D6 this morning, and we were walking because there was a bathroom like right there by D5. And then we walked, and we didn't get it quite into the hallway, and there was a second set of bathrooms right there. And the second set of bathrooms, right before it, there was a little sign with a dog, and he had this little vest on, and it said, said animal relief area. And I looked at that, and I was like, I know what I want to talk about. I know because I'm thinking back to tripping, and on somebody's dog, and then people looking at me like, shit, the dog's laying on the fucking ground.
How long do you think it would take for them to get them in there and get us out, and put us in the holding room and shit? If me and you went in the animal relief room and started taking a shit with the dogs,
it would be kind of fucking funny. But y'all people, you're paying some money. No.
I identify as a chihuahua.
Listen,
that's what
you can't say Michelle's name. How dare you? Oh my God. Oh, but it's just, I mean, you're part of your ticket fee at the BNA airport built that stupid room for people's dogs. It's like, wow. I couldn't believe it. I should have stopped and took a picture, but I was trying to race because I thought,
Debbie Brewer on Facebook, she said hi, but then she said the last flight on the lady had a cat that meowed the whole time. I'd be yelling, shut that pussycat up.
I'd be sitting there thinking, why can't this door pop off and we throw it out?
I bet that cat don't land on its 4 feet.
I don't know. They're pretty good at that. It might land on it, but doesn't say the bones are going to fit on again.
Wouldn't be nothing left, would it?
4 legs and a flat fur ball in the desert.
She said it was 3 weeks ago.
Oh my God! I don't know. Went a little longer than I thought we were going to.
Oh, that's like meow. Oh God!
Did you see it go? Oh, there you go. You got it. Now you got to start it in your zoo over there.
I think my dog's barking now.
Let me throw your trailer out the door of the plane. Go! There.
What's this?
What? Oh Lord. Okay.
Well,
I guess we'll see y'all next week. We'll have some more information. I'm going to do it for you. You going to do it for you?
Yeah, you want the timesheets for all the.
Now, I think we should. I would like to see. I would like to see the timesheets, especially in Tennessee, because if they were being paid, I know they were being paid. They wasn't sitting down there on that ramp in Mount Juliet Monday, not being paid.
3, 4, 5.
There was 3 of them. And I think it was Wednesday when I passed like 5 of them. 5 of them, and then They were just sitting on the. I don't know. They did a really bad job. If that's our snow removal crew, that's just more government waste.
It's kind of like it reminded me of John McClane in Die Hard 2 when he was out there on the runway with the two flaming, trying to make up for all the lights so the plane could land. You might as well set one guy out there with a little torch and had him walk the interstates.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week.
Next week. Thanks, guys.
All right. Later.
You didn't hit the music.